Hello again, my name is Andra Miron. I'm the host of the event today, Women in Data Science. And we are just starting the first tech panel, and this is called Text Analytics and Computer Vision. New solutions can solve existing problems or tackle new ones. And the moderator of the panel today is Mrs. Kelly Wu, Business Solutions Manager Advanced Analytics at AI SAS. Hello, all the ladies. Hello, Mrs. Lu. I'm very happy to see you, and I'm very happy to meet you all. Please, you have the word.
Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing today?
Good. Good. Thank you.
Hi.
So thank you for the introduction. So good afternoon, everybody watching. I'm Kelly Lu. I am from the South African SAS team, where I lead the Advanced Analytics and AI practice. But in essence, I am a data scientist. I'm very happy to be part of the event today, and I'm so excited to have the chance to speak with this amazing panel of ladies. And I think you guys will also agree that it's a really exciting time to be a data scientist right now. Almost every type of organization is making use of or exploring AI, and this means a bigger playground for us data scientists. And this is reflected in the rapid growth in global spend on artificial intelligence, and it's become fairly clear that the momentum is going to keep continuing. Organizations are expanding their current use of AI because they've experienced the tangible results, and they want to keep exploring and find more. And you may have already seen a study by IDC that forecasts the total spend on AI to double over the next 4 years, with retail and banking industry as the major contributors to that figure. So AI is working all around us today. But I remember talking to a student in one of the universities in South Africa, and she said she wanted to do something that was tangible and made a difference. And to her, AI wasn't that. And I realized that she, and a lot of other people in fact, have this misconception that AI is still science fiction. It's sitting in the lab being researched, or it's far out. But that couldn't be further from the truth. We are affected by multiple AIs every single day, from making recommendations of what we should be watching next on Netflix, to the next post that we see on Instagram, to some of the more serious things like determining if our credit application is successful or not, and even discovering new drugs and diagnosing diseases. So AI is definitely impactful in making our lives better. And with the expected increase in investments and other factors, like the fact that there's more people being interested in data scientists, and there's also more and more universities offering degrees on AI and data science, we can expect AI to fly past its current level of maturity really quickly in the near future. And also with new data sources, we can take advantage of things like unstructured text and image data. And this means more powerful AI, smarter AI, embedded and applied in more areas. So now, smart and powerful. That begins to sound a little bit dangerous, right? And often people start imagining things like the Terminator or the Matrix, or some more recent titles like Ex Machina and Westworld. But I'm not talking about that Hollywood type of artificial intelligence, because quite frankly, we haven't really developed broad AI like that yet. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there one day. I'm talking about the way AI is today, what we call narrow AI. Narrow AI is good at doing one thing and one thing only. So if you teach a narrow AI to play chess, it can't play Go or any other board game, in fact. But still, this narrow artificial intelligence can sometimes do some very stupid things. So I'm sure you've heard the funny stories about AI making mistakes, like the famous one where Amazon thought the chances of you buying a toilet seat increases after you buy the first one. So as if toilet seats are some form of collectible. But leaving AI to do its thing can have some more serious implications. So we're all familiar with the term garbage in, garbage out, But same applies for bias. Bias in, bias out. So if our data is biased, and all data will contain some level and form of bias, it will affect the output. So for example, if our AI picks up that many people who default on their loans are from a certain area or zip code, it may start rejecting people from that zip code entirely in the future. So someone from that area can have a good credit history and is a good customer in other regards, but they won't get approved. Is that fair? No. But in that case, it's not the AI is too smart, it's actually quite the opposite. And this has actually happened in the past where people have been discriminated against by AI based on where they live. So now imagine an example of AI in the future. We're accessing more and more forms of data. Not just your customer associated data, let's say with a fashion retailer based on what they buy, we can see your publicly available social media data as well. We feed that data into the AI and figure out that you're actually most likely to go on a shopping spree when you find patterns in your social media posts to identify that you are a bit insecure, you're a bit depressed, or generally emotionally vulnerable. And that's when we send you offers and promos. And is that right? That's not right at all, and we shouldn't do that. But without transparency, you might not potentially know that that's what your AI is doing. So the question becomes, how are we going to make sure that this doesn't happen? And the answer is, well, there isn't a one-size-fits-all, but there are general concepts, like things like setting clear objectives, transparency, and more human and AI integration that can prevent these things from happening. We need to be clear about what we want to achieve when we create AI models. And the best example here is the self-driving car. The objective is not just to get from point A to point B, but get there safely for you and for others on the road, comfortably and in a reasonable amount of time, and many more other objectives. Next, we also need to be wary of black box AIs. So black box AIs are where you don't really know what the details of the AI, why it decided on something. And if we don't know, how can we trust it to be unbiased and correct? AI transparency allows users to see when a decision is not correct, and if we see it, we can fix it. The increasing complexity of AI is making this a difficult problem. Lastly, with more human and AI integration, we are bringing together the best of both worlds. We leave the heavy-duty processing to the AI, and we leverage our experience and knowledge to make judgment calls. This is achieved by democratizing analytics, one of SaaS's key principles. And speaking as a data scientist, I don't always have the inside business knowledge to improve and adjust the models correctly. So let's take a simple scenario. I am a data scientist working for a fashion retailer, and I need to build a forecast model on the scale of, let's say, skinny jeans, so we can better manage demand and inventory. So as a data scientist, I would use the past data of skinny jean sales and make my forecasts. And you know, skinny jeans have been popular for so long, so the model will probably assume that the trend will continue. But someone in the purchasing department who is experienced in fashion trends will tell me that, well, no wait, like skinny jeans are not popular with this new generation Z anymore. Actually, straight cut and what they call mom jeans are all the rage now. And they would be able to help me make adjustments to these models and ultimately produce a better and more accurate forecast. Another great example is the SaaS Rainforest project. Our AI platform is already analyzing and making sense of thousands of satellite images that identify signs of deforestation in the rainforests. But artificial intelligence can't do it alone. We need humans to help identify signs of deforestation that the model hasn't learned to detect yet. So your participation, whether you identify deforestation in 1 image or 100 images, will allow us to fine-tune AI models that can detect changes in the Amazon and alert conservation and government organizations responsible for protecting it. And you can get involved by Googling SAS rainforest, and it should take you to the correct page. So the way I see it, even with all the investments going into AI, the future is not going to be about AI taking over from humans. It's about collaboration between AI and humans that will make the biggest impact to our businesses and to our lives. Yes, some of the aspects will be automated, saving us time and handling the tedious or repetitive types of work, but ultimately it will still require human supervision and input to make sure its objectives are correct and it's fair and unbiased. And really, AI can make a positive impact on our world, and it also enables us humans to maximize our impact and unlock more of our potential. So up next, I'm going to hand over to Ms. Grozdana Marek. I've already mentioned that AI is all around us today, and she will take us into a little bit more detail about how it's being used and adding value in a variety of different industries. Grozdana is the head of SEMIA Fraud and Security Intelligence here at SAS, and her main role is to position, design, deliver anti-fraud, compliance, and security solutions that meet the needs of customers in various sectors such as banking, insurance, telecommunications, and trade. So take it away, please, Grozdana.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. Good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me to this panel. Let me start with a quick introduction on SAS company, because SAS is market leader in advanced analytics and artificial intelligence. The company was founded in 1976, so more than 40 years ago, and started as a project at North Carolina State University to create statistical analysis system, hence it is the name of the company, which was originally used primarily by agricultural departments at university. So we are not only industry leaders, but we are also pioneers of statistical modeling, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so on. And today, in reality, artificial intelligence is part of our lives. It is not only on your smartphone, on your laptops, or in cars, it is everywhere. And it can be used to solve different types of problems. And I will mention some use cases today. But let's first start what is actually artificial intelligence. If we say simple, it is science of training the computer to perform tasks that are normally handled by human beings. Then we have machine learning, which is included in AI, and that AI is broader statement. Machine learning is subset of it, and it is not just training the computer to do something, but also making it able to learn and next time to perform the better task. If the new things happens, to catch it. And this is very important in fraud prevention area, which I closely work on. So, artificial intelligence can help a business to increase sales, to improve customer experience, to automate work processes, to provide predictive analytics. Financial services can, for example, benefit from AI-based enterprise decisioning process. You can calculate probability of default. So, which is the probability that some customer will not pay loan or will not pay a debt on credit card. You also can calculate exposure at default. Then you can calculate provisioning. You can apply advanced internal base rating systems which can help you to have lower capital charge. So you really can have a great impact directly on your revenues in company. Then you can calculate probability of attrition, of churn, of response on some campaigns, and so on. And similar in telco industry. Improve processes, optimize campaign, recognize next best offer for your customer, recognize which post-pay customers are not likely to pay, which are fraudulent transactions. So you really can, with AI, protect your reputation also. Logistic companies, for example, can use AI for better inventory and delivery management. Retail business Kelly already mentioned some use cases. Then utilities can use smart meters and smart grids to decrease power consumptions and so on. Then we have in medicine great examples of AI. We can apply image recognition and recognize, for example, cancer is in very early stages with very high confidence, which is not able to be recognized by human beings, by doctors. So really a great usage across all industries and across all processes, I would say. Now let's explain one more detailed industry example, applying artificial intelligence in detecting external and internal fraud across different industries, across insurance, banking, telco, tax offices, government, healthcare, and so on. Historically, fraud detection systems have relied primarily on business rules. This has been good for identifying the things that have already been learned. But there are some issues with utilizing only this methodology. First, business rules create a lot of noise, create lots of false positive alerts. That takes time to triage and result in operational inefficiency. Second, business rules become common knowledge to the fraudsters. And third, business rules aren't forward-looking. They aren't there to catch tomorrow's fraud. And this is where AI can help a lot. So in addition to expert rules, SaaS solutions have predictive models, anomaly detection, profiling, text mining, network analytics to provide 360-degree view on all relevant entities that are linked. And with all of this, so you can find more fraud than others who don't use that. You can significantly minimize false positives, which will help you to minimize operational costs. And very important also, you improve customer experience. So you don't bother customers, you don't decline genuine transactions if it is not needed. And how artificial intelligence can additionally help here. So you can support and make automatic more other processes. For example, you can make automatic alerts workflow and alert triage. For example, alert hibernation, you put low score on hibernation, and opposite is alert escalation. So not all things have the same level of urgency. AI is not something that will steal the job from people that you can sometimes read in newspapers, that it will replace people. It is something that will enhance, so will bring more efficiency and more consistency, also important. For example, in this case, you are reviewing less fraud alerts, but you are not thinking less. Also, I would like to mention the importance of data quality. I'm sure that all of you have heard about garbage in, garbage out phrase, and also Kelly mentioned it. So no matter how good you have statistical models, profiling, machine learning methods, they will only deliver optimal results in case data are quite right. So we take care and put a lot of importance on data quality, standardization data, cleaning, and it is the crucial part and the component of our solution. One another example that I would like now to explain is connected to a pandemic situation last year and currently still ongoing. So we see it was very challengeable for all companies, and those who had AI technologies already integrated in processes managed to faster adapt to this new normal. One of the key things that we noticed is when lockdown started, mainly in March last year, and depending on which country when, the companies were saying at the moment that 90% of staff started to work from home in one peak, so remotely. For example, banks saying that approximately 70 to 80% of their branch employees started to work remotely. And these new deployed remote access services, upon launching them, significantly increase actually the risk of fraud and bring different security vulnerabilities. And to be able to automatically recognize new fraud threats in such situation was really very crucial. Also, banking industry experienced 5-year digital transformation squeeze in just few weeks. And new channels and engagements via call center, for example, dramatically increased to supplement and to complement branch operations. Then we see increase of digital transactions. Banks saw in average last year 50% in digital transactions increase. And many of customers practically did first time in their life online transaction, online shopping, and so on. And similar for other industries, for telco, for insurance, for retail, and so on. And all these opened new doors for external and also internal fraud, and brought really the urgency to apply AI techniques to support that rapid change. We also see that regulator is pushing a lot appliance of AI. For example, in anti-money laundering regulation, regulator is aware there are many deficiencies of the process which don't apply AI. There are many false positives. There are much more people needed to review all of this, and they really make a pressure to apply AI in all these processes. So to conclude, we see that all industries are focusing more and more how to adopt and integrate AI technologies into day-to-day processes in a way they enhance overall performance. And this is not nice to have anymore, this is really must-have in order to be and to remain competitive for all companies.
Thanks, Christiana. I agree with you. We see that everywhere with organizations, doing more AI or beginning to explore AI. But in order to do that, we're also using more data, tapping into more data sources and venturing into different types of data. And with that, the issue of data privacy is going to be a central theme. And up next, Christina will share her expertise on the topic of data privacy with us. Christina Gika is the managing partner at Gika Innovative Law Firm. She has 15 years of experience in leading cross-functional teams focused on critical strategic issues, corporate business, and privacy issues. She has an MBA and holds a master's degree in marketing and business communication, a bachelor's degree in international law, and an LLB. So really, really impressive resume, Christina. Please take it away. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Kelly. It's a big opportunity for me to be here with all of you, impressive women with impressive careers. So I will try to share a few tricks and tips, let's say, related directly with the data privacy in AI and big data usage. In 2019, the Artificial Intelligence Market Research Report was saying that the global value of the AI was estimated at $27 billion, and with an estimated value to reach in 2027 at $266 billion. Also, the World Economic Forum has suggested that the development and the diffusion of AI in its current actives and the digital position will lead to 2.7 trillion euros in the European economic output, which means a lot. These numbers are huge, and we realize day by day that the AI systems, together with the usage of big data, impacts most of the industries. And we have three, or I resume that we have three challenges in terms of translating the benefits that AI systems and big data usage into legal terms, and also into privacy notice, for example, to the end users of these AI systems and big data usage. As far as I could see from my research, there is not a universal definition adopted for the AI, which brings some challenges in the legislation in terms of AI, and also how we use the AI systems in multinationals to develop these systems. And the explanations of the AI systems and technologies are focused more on the specific part of the application of the AI. As my previous speaker was mentioning, we are talking about machine learning, or we are talking about digitalization or automatization of some processes inside corporations and inside their processes, and making better products by using the AI systems and the big data. Also, there are let's say unknown patent biases when AI systems, risks that are putting together with this technological development, and the degree of autonomy and complexity of the AI systems could lead to some risks that we cannot foresee when we develop an AI system, for example. Which means that if we are going to adopt security and privacy by design policy and procedures at the level of the corporation, we are going to have some troubles because of these biases that we might encounter when we develop the system. Also, the biggest, let's say, impact and challenge would be to find the equilibrium, the balance between what means the usage of AI systems and the privacy for the end user. And as a framework used for the AI, we might say that we need to use and also to implement in our processes three main things, like fairness, which means that we need to ensure that algorithmic decisions do not create discriminatory or unjust impacts when comparing across different demographics or affected communities or individuals. Also, we talk about accountability, which means that algorithmically informed decisions have the potential for significant social impact and must be designed and implemented in publicly accountable ways, such as an obligation to report, to explain, to justify specific decision, as well as mitigate negative impact and potential harms to individuals. And lastly, the transparency, which is very important, that we need to ensure that the personal data collected, the model function and process, and the role of the model output in final decision making are explainable to the user or individual impacted by the decision. Taking together these concepts represents some of the unique aspects of machine learning models that raise the most concern. I would say that, yes, corporations or let's say companies that they allocated huge budgets to develop this kind of systems, or even to acquire AI systems, or using analytics platform for developing better their products, for ensuring a customer experience, a better one, to improve their activities and to make them efficient. They need to implement at the core of their business also the privacy part. They need to use the privacy by design and by default frameworks, and to have together more than one department implicated in making this assessment of privacy by design and by default. And I'm referring here to the fact that the privacy departments mostly are support departments in companies, and they have to work closely and to be implicated, for example, by the product owners and the sales teams, also the cybersecurity teams, in order to develop AI systems and to integrate them into a product. Also, it is very important when we use analytics platforms not to use in test environments real data, and to use dummy data, which means that we need to go and use the data in aggregate models, not to harm the individuals when we make the tests. Also, on the, let's say, legal part of the privacy, to have privacy notice for informing individuals about how their data is used by the AI systems, and also to try to translate in a free and a simple message how the algorithm of the AI systems is functioning, which here we have a difficulty in translating this. And also we need to allow to individuals to raise their rights, which means that when we have an automated decisions, we need to allow the individuals to oppose to the processing of data, and to have to be subject of this kind of automated decision, which might have a huge impact in their, for example, in their decision of buying some products. For example, when we take a loan, we need to be sure that the automated decisions of the scoring, it's also supervised by human interventions, or if it is not supervised by the human interventions, we need to explain to individuals, to the clients of the bank, that there is an automated decision and what is the impact of their loan request, for example. I would say, because we are still living in this new normal during the pandemic, for example, there are automated decisions that are integrated in different apps and e-devices that are used or that are going to be used by different countries. For example, Argentina, Germany and Italy, they would like to develop these immunity passports, which means that if I use an app and I will show the fact that I get the vaccine against the COVID virus, or I have been naturally immunized before, this means that I have a degree of let's say a free usage and I can go freely to job and come back home without taking any particular specific and restricted things to do. And this means that the individuals are going to be impacted by the automated decisions that is part of this application. And there is a bias that is used here because, for example, the World Health Organization didn't say that we have a certain proof that if I already get the virus, this doesn't mean that I'm going to be reinfected or not, which means that if I will use the automated decision in this kind of apps by saying that I have this freedom because I get vaccine and I'm not going to be reinfected, this means that there is going to be a discriminatory effect between individuals who are choosing to get the vaccine or not. So I guess that sometimes it's very difficult to get the balance and to fulfill with the privacy framework that I was already mentioning, the equity, the accountability and the transparency that we are using in these systems.
Thank you. You've certainly given us a lot of things to think about. So, as a data scientist, I think sometimes we don't always think about the data privacy issues, especially, you know, we are kind of spoiled and we just have the data in front of us and we use it. So that was really educational for me personally, and I hope everyone else enjoyed it as much as I did. So another thing is time to value, and it's always key on projects and strategies. Anna Cretu will share some of her experience in accelerating the tech ecosystem in Romania. Anna is the head of social banking at BCR, and she has over 10 years of experience in the banking industry, both as an investment banker and as a social banker. She has in-depth knowledge of business education and financing of startups and social affairs. And as the co-founder of the InnovX BCR Business Accelerator, she helps propel the right business ideas into success. And in her role, she has had valuable impact on the Romanian tech ecosystem. I can't wait what you have to say, Anna. Take it away.
Hello, everybody, and thank you very much, Kelly, for this nice introduction. And actually, thanks for this opportunity, for this invitation at today's event. Special thanks also to Mariana, the founder of Think Tank 360, to Volter School of Romania, and last but not least to Dragoș Preda, who is also the initiator of Raw Women in Tech. So I really appreciate for bringing us here today. I really find it's very useful to discuss about the role of women in all the areas impacted by data science. And on top of it, I have to admit that I'm feeling a little bit emotional when delivering this kind of public speeches. I'm also feeling extremely comfortable with this setup. So thank you very much for this. Now, if I may, before discussing about our specific actions in the area of technology in general and within women in data science in particular, I would like to tell you some words about why we are doing what we are doing in Banca Comercială Română, because the change starts from within, isn't it? And this why we are doing what we are doing is linked to our core strategy, which we built on some game changers that defined our identity in the past and that also serve as a solid foundation for future growth. And as Christina was mentioning some minutes ago, digitalization has become also for Banca Comercială Română one of our main pillars. Our aspiration is to become a tech and data-driven bank, leveraging the latest technology and also attracting Romania's top digital talent. But digitalization is not about, I don't know, changing technology or just adding the online component. It's also about understanding our customers. It's also about bringing value to our services and being flexible and adaptive, let's say. And none of this is possible without a strong data strategy behind, which helps us understand our customer, understand how we can get closer to him with a proper and a useful offer. And last but not least, it helps us to learn how to become real advisors for our clients, people and businesses, and how to support them to make intelligent business decisions. And this is why we have inside the bank, inside Banca Comercială Română, we have teams dealing with business intelligence and also with data science, which have become more and more relevant in our business model. And because today we are at Women in Data Science, maybe it's worth mentioning that we are proud in BCR to have 3 business intelligence and data analytics teams which are led by women, and also a team of digital product owners which are 70% women. Now, coming back to more specific tools, I will tell you some words about Innovix BCR. Is one of our specific tools through which we are trying to support Romanian tech ecosystem. And now I might go even more emotional because Innovix BCR is not just something we do, it's also something in which I believe in a lot. So Innovix BCR is an intensive tech business education program which we launched 2 years ago together with UiPath and Microsoft, and is embedded in our core strategy, being a continuous learning process between tech startups on the one hand, and on the other hand, being a continuous learning process for corporates. And when I say corporates, I include also ourselves in Banca Comercială Română, because this is a learning process also for ourselves. The purpose of this accelerator is to help tech products to scale at a global level through education, through financing, and helping tech startups to find new clients. But also the purpose of this accelerator is to attract them inside of our organization, either to be early adopters and to use their innovation on our internal products and processes, or to put their innovative solutions at the disposal of our clients. Another thing is the fact that we also aligned Innovix BCR objectives with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals proposed by the United Nations. And in view of this endeavor, during the last 2 years, we managed to hit, together with our accelerated companies, 11 out of the total of 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And one of the goals is about gender equality. And if we apply this gender equality inside the accelerator, it means out of total accelerated companies, how many of them were founded and owned by women. And during our last 2 years, out of 75 companies we accelerated, 30% were startups founded and owned by women, active in data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. Moreover, within this endeavor in supporting the gender equality within tech area, we are also collaborating with Global Women in Tech on their tech startup coaching program they are leading, which is called Start It Up. And compared to Innovix, this program is 100% addressed to tech startups owned and founded by women. For example, last year we had 16 international tech startups owned by women which applied to start our program, out of which we selected 6 for the incubation phase. Now we have a lot of dreams for the following period, but I would focus on one. We plan to increase this 30% threshold of women in tech inside WiDS2021 to 50%. And I truly consider that initiatives like Women in Data Science or Raw Women in Tech can help a lot for this initiative, because we feel there are far more women in Romania who have the potential to break into this field. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they are looking for their first career break, or maybe they just need a push to take the leap of faith in data science. But in both cases, they should know that this kind of events or all the incubators and accelerators in Romania are a safety net for them to guide their steps if they want and if they need. So they are looking at them and say, hey, you are not alone in this journey, please use us wisely. And this becomes more important when discussing about data science, because data science isn't just about numbers we are working with. No, the data points reflect human behavior, and the data points impact human lives. And maybe it will sound a little bit philosophical, but since ever, the woman has been the full circle when discussing about human lives. Because within her, there is the power to give birth, within her, there is the power to nurture, and within her, there is the power to transform human lives. So maybe my words now are plastic, but it seems that the women were created for data science because they seem to know and do the full circle when approaching this big topic like human lives. So I really encourage them to give a chance to themselves and find out more information in this area of data science and use all the safety nets they have around. And until then, if you have a technology company and you want to scale up your product and you think WiDS2021 or started up program can help you somehow, you can always contact us at accelerator@bcr.ro. I think this was all from my side. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Anna. I love what you said there. Women are made for data science. And how amazing is it that you linked your goals to the UN Development Goals? I think that is absolutely amazing. So well done. You are inspirational. On to our next inspirational speaker. So we've already mentioned, it's clear we're in a digital age. But customer centricity and customer experience is still one of the most important aspects organizations are measured on. And to tell us about her experience in being customer focused within the current digital age, we have Romana Bernic, the claims director at Unica, one of the leading players in the Romanian insurance market. She has over 20 years of experience in the insurance industry, and she's also one of those inspirational figures who has broken the glass ceiling to become a very prominent leader in a very male-dominated industry. Currently, she's coordinating an innovative claims management system where she brings together her team's expertise with digital solutions like AI and machine learning to provide the highest standard of services.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. I'm happy to be here today with you. And the topic that I want to share with you today is about claims and benefits in digital age. And I will start to detail to you from where we have started everything. we realized that actually the traditional models are not working anymore, because the customer evolved and they are expecting the same experience as, for example, in Vogue industries. The competition also evolved and is now providing or trying to provide best customer experience industry-wise. And I think and we think that insurance are super exciting. And for sure, in the next 10 years, in our industry, we will face more changes that we experienced in the last 100 years. And for that, I will detail you what we have done and what are somehow the trendsetters in the market in claims services. We started to change completely our way of seeing the business. And as a specialist in after-sales services, I realized that we have to rethink our way to approach the clients and even the future in our industry, but in other industries also is digital. We shouldn't leave the customers behind, so everything we have done was built around the customers, and everything is based on customer-centric concept. That's why we are changing the traditional model, and now we are considering claims and benefits like customer care. We started the accelerated digitalization actions about 2 years and a half, thinking and designing a real ecosystem by bringing together latest technologies, high expertise from our professionals, because we are having very big teams and we are having here huge expertise. We bring also chatbots and integrated service platform, and for the first time in the market, in the insurance market, we bring a new concept. It's about bionic teams. We are having a digital claims team, which is a new concept in insurance market. We succeeded to change the IT infrastructure, especially in claims, and we've implemented a very robust system with machine learning and AI engines embedded. We need something very flexible, and we get a very modular design. One of the main purposes of the system is to sustain the mobility market, but also the claims management, which is our core activity. And it wasn't all. We add also, this was the back end, and we needed a front end, something to offer to the client a different experience, a unique experience when he interaction with Unica services. And we've implemented a robot advisor, which is called Anna, digital assistant. Anna is coming from automation now and always. At the beginning, she was a digital assistant. This was in July 2019, and after a lot of sessions, because our data shown us that from the launch of Anna till now, we are having, for example, per day in average about 107 sessions and 39,000 session of usage till now. Anna proposed was to guide the customers in claims process and of course fast track compensation, and to increase productivity, and was built on machine learning algorithms, meaning that Anna is going better and better every day with each usage, with each session, by using intelligent services, collecting data, and learns how to be better. It's a new way of transforming the notification complexity of the claim file to a simple, fast, fair, and usual process for the client. For example, instead of using the contact center as the traditional channel and to lose maybe between 10 and 20 minutes in order to notify a claim, you can use this chatbot and have also the notification in only few minutes by accessing a link, even it's a link accessed by a smartphone or a desktop or a laptop. You have the same experience, a very easy one, very simple for the client. In only few minutes you can notify your claim, to upload documents, to send photos, and also for specific line of business and products to have a end-to-end process, meaning that you will get an offer and you can get your money in 24 hours. For big events, we are leveraging IoT in order to quick access the damage and to determine the correct compensation. We are also using and include drones, data from sensors, advanced technologies in order to have the possibility to determine pre-existing parameters and make simulations or disaster scenarios. Because I told you at the beginning about the concept of bionic teams, I think that the future belongs to bionic companies like we did also, that embrace the digital transformation and are reorganizing around the customers, having in mind the most important enablers. Meaning the first one is technology, and what we've done was to streamline the processes, to optimize them, and after that came with digital transformation, and this was done and should be done exactly in this order, because in other way around it's a mess, I can assure you. The second one was the human enablers, and here we upskilled our professionals by augmenting the insurance skills with the digital technology. Because, for example, last year in the pandemic situation, we realized that our professionals, but also the customers, need more time in order to offer empathy and to create a bond with them, to advise them, and we face that basically over a weekend we have to change our lives and to get to new normal, and then you need technology, and we deployed. We were one of the companies, the lucky one, to have it and to deploy it in order to offer to our professionals the proper tools for day-to-day business, and also to assure business continuity for our clients. And the third one is the customer experience enable. This enable is the consequence, the possibility to coach and guide the customer, advising with the best solution in case of an event. We have a huge impact when we are providing peace of mind for individuals, because we are thinking that in case of claims, we are the moment of truth, and we are providing peace of mind for individuals and also for companies. We are somehow the key and part of safe business in order to help our customers to continue their normal, and this means that we have to be somehow near close to the communities in order to help them to come to their normal lives in case of unexpected events. For improve this kind of services and to adapt, we focused on 3 dimensions on claims operations, meaning we bring new technologies and machine learning and AI. We came with this different concept regarding the augmentation of technology with insurance expertise in order to re-engineering the traditional claims handling and leverage the suppliers ecosystem, because we needed something very flexible in order to integrate, for example, in case of motor, repair car repair shops or spare parts suppliers. And for this we needed somehow a very solid base and a very solid system. This is it from my side. It was a really pleasure sharing this with you. Our innovative, integrated, customer-centric organizational transformation. And for further questions, if there are any, I'm here. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Romana. That was really inspirational. Recently, I've seen a video about what insurance would look like in the future, and it's amazing to see that you guys are kind of almost there already, and you've really started on this journey. Up next, we have Aneta Skubida. She is a member of Think and Do Tank Green Dealers, a member of local parliament in Warsaw, and a member of Climate KIC, which is an agenda of the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. She is a future-proof strategies designer, empowering actors of change, and she is also a dot connector, connecting social, political, business, and research perspectives and innovating for impact. The floor is yours, Aneta.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Let me start first with expressing how much gifted I feel really today to be here among you, and there are already so many things which I just heard, and they are like really deeply internalized in myself, even though we are coming from different domains, but we share so much. It's like, for example, the need for transformation and our power that we can really play a significant role there. We are needed as women, or for example that we need new models based on data. Those things are so close to me, and I'm really happy that I can be here today together with you to share what I have learned and to learn from you especially. And I will talk about the role of data science in transformation of all our systems, our societies, our cities, our countries. I will talk about megatrends, the change we need nowadays more than ever, and examples how to manage it. About the role of data science for future-proofing and human-oriented approach. So much more beyond just those single points technological solutions. But firstly, let's see at the megatrends and the challenges of today's world. According to the World Economic Forum, 5 of the major megatrends are very closely interrelated, and they are, first of all, climate emergency. 5 last years are the hottest on the record, with severe droughts and wildfires destroying many places, for example, California or other areas. Secondly, there is raising sea levels, and it's estimated that in the year 2100, sea level is going to rise by 1 meter, and if we do not make a systemic shift. So it would mean that for every 1 centimeter of rise, 1 million of people will be displaced from their homes. And this also translates to the fact that global hubs such as New York, Miami, Shanghai, London, they can all be submerged within that time. You can imagine what impact would it have to all our world. Thirdly, there is citizen action. Globalization spreads viruses and misinformation, but it also raises awareness and action, such as climate strikes. Fourth is, according to World Economic Forum, green energy. This is including prosumerism and energy cooperatives. And last but not least, fifth mega trend is nature first. This approach is needed to combat the climate crisis, but also nature is much more valued due to the pandemic, and so are the human relations. European Union is leading on that with 1 trillion euros of new European Green Deal for climate neutrality. It may not be so obvious, but data science is crucial for all those fields. If we do want to clean up the mess we've made as humanity, as societies, and I will tell you how. Not everyone in the world realizes in which position we are nowadays. To show it, let me share a picture with you. Hopefully it will work, because I have one that is, hopefully you can see. Could someone confirm if you are able to see the picture I'm trying to view right now?
Yeah, I can see it.
Great, thanks a lot. So the situation right now is a little bit as if there was a monster just behind our window. And for many people, they're trying to close their eyes and reflect it in the prepared policies, programs, including the grant ones. The first two cities pioneering in this approach in the CEE region are Krakow and Rybnik in Poland, which I had the pleasure to support in implementing this approach. And the other in Europe are, for example, Vienna, Amsterdam, Madrid, or Leuven, the current European innovation capital. We may trust our gut feeling, but if we do not want to take blind decisions, we need to analyze data of different levels. We need to understand why things are happening. On the basis of gathered data, we can create a map of the system, of a city, region, or a country. We can design and acupuncture interventions or experiments. Thanks to data science, we can learn what exactly doesn't work, what works just a little, and what does make the actual change we want to achieve. So what we should leverage on and what we should scale. And on the basis of combination of data, including citizen surveys, their needs and perceptions, analysis of megatrends, trends, microtrends, the actual impact of the solutions which we have already introduced, and various predictions involving these factors, we can create different scenarios and models and choose the most beneficial ones, choose wisely, cautiously. And this is how we work with the systemic innovation, being cautious. And let's have now a fast look at two examples. First example, many times we assume some solution, some policy would work. We put millions of euros in it, and then it turns out it doesn't actually have the impact that we were assuming, or it's just like marginal. Imagine city of Washington and its police, where excessive violence towards civilians was observed, causing thousands of complaints. Imagine a possible solution, making the hope of the policemen to wear body cameras which register their behavior. You would probably assume that it would significantly reduce those problems, and I was as well. It seems like the obvious thing, but it turned out that it's not the case. Running a test on a significant trial of 2,200 policemen proved it doesn't have such an effect. So another solution was needed to address the issue, and running a test on a smaller scale, tracking the data allowed to avoid spending of millions without achieving the desired effect. We need good impact assessments of solutions, programs, policies introduced in many areas of our lives. We need deliberate design of those to find the leverage points, and this forms a great opportunity for data scientists. And second example, it is not only about choosing correct solutions to solve the problems. Data can help us to reevaluate things, like the research around the worth of investments into trees. For example, in the city of New York, it was assessed that $1 invested into a tree brings $5.6 return. And this refers not only to health and well-being of citizens or benefits for the drainage system, which are quite obvious, but also growth of the business. For example, more clients in the shops and restaurants and cafes on the green streets. And this also refers to growth of value of buildings, both housing and business buildings, reduction of costs of cooling the buildings, and many, many other things. Data helps to track all that, and each location has its specifics. That's why more and more cities are ordering their individual data-based assessments. So let's have a look now at all what I've just said. What does it all mean for all of us, for our daily lives and daily choices? The smart city, based on technology only, is nowadays an old approach. The current trend is the city which is aware, using technologies deliberately, where and how it is needed to improve citizens' lives. To protect ourselves as well from the threats. The well-being today and the future one is a base for the development of modern societies, and this attracts the most skilled human capital. That's why neuroscience is growing, and why, for example, Singapore or Copenhagen are betting so strongly on the well-being. It is worth studying and working in data science, not only because it's you can earn really good money in it. It is worth because we can really have an impact on the future, not only for ourselves, but whole the societies and future generations. So, dear ladies, if you are still wondering whether to become a data scientist or to fix the world, don't choose. Become a data scientist to save the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You make data scientists sound like heroes. I really, really like that.
They are.
The public sector is also one of the main producers and reusers of data. And opening up this data can bring a lot of value and benefits. But it also comes with its own set of challenges. Larissa will unpack some of the challenges, how they can be overcome, and what the value is in doing so. Larissa Barak is a senior advisor in the Romanian government working on open government and open data. She's the national point of contact for the Open Government Partnership and coordinator of the National Open Data Portal. So she's the lady to speak to. Please take it away.
Thank you, Kelly. I'll just try to keep it short as I think we're a bit late. So I want to first start by thanking the organizer, of course, for inviting me and for the opportunity to join my distinguished fellow women panelists today. My institution, the Secretary General of the Government, is in charge with the management of the National Open Data Portal and the coordination of the Open Data Initiative at the national level. So we're talking about a bit of different data from what we have discussed before. We're talking about the data from the public sector that is part of the data that is processed in all the AI that we have approached so far. So Since the beginning of the open data initiatives in Europe, the impact of opening this mainly government data on the economy is ever growing, and although it was not as clear-cut as first expected, it is an important catalyzer for the EU data economy and the European economy as a whole. As Kelly said, the public sector is both one of the main producers and reusers of data, which we should keep in mind. And opening up this data and perceiving it as a common good comes, however, with challenges, both in terms of infrastructure, competencies, and mindset. This is why a key incentive to the maturity of any open data initiative in the public sector is to associate it with the added value it brings. So the measurement of social, environmental, political, and most importantly, economic impact of opening data and data reuse has proven that it creates endless opportunities. For 2019, for example, the estimated open data market size was of 184 billion euros, according to the latest report from the European Data Portal on the economic impact of open data, published in 2020. Why this huge this huge number? It's due to the specificity of open data, because this includes the market size of products, services, and content improved or enabled by open data. And the numbers are those for the EU market minus the UK, of course. It is important to keep in mind that open data impact is not created standalone, but it is interlinked with the use of data from other sources and digital tools. As such, the value creation in the data economy that open data brings partially overlaps with that brought through other data sources. In terms of employment, for example, the estimation for 2019 is that open data helped employ 1 million people. So this is also, of course, in terms of in general terms. So it brings together lots of other indicators. So coming back to the case of Romania, which is under sort of my management, the Open Data Initiative started in 2013, and although it did face some slowdowns and setbacks during the years, such as, so it is steadily growing and maturing. So there are now a series of recent measures that were implemented that resulted in revitalization of the initiative. This included the launch last year of a new version of the national portal with new resources and functionalities. Furthermore, we, the team at the National Datagov.ro team, are focusing now on mainly on 3 aspects, which I think were somehow mentioned by the previous panelists regarding their subjects so far. Training and informing public servants, so training is very important. Increasing the quantity and quality of open data, and last but not least, promoting reusers and data reuse examples. That means that we are looking to emphasize particularly the value creation of open data. All these measures I mentioned will be complemented by the launch of a national open data strategy and action plan, and most importantly, by the adoption of the law transposing the 2019 Open Data Directive. This regulatory framework will focus mainly on the identification, publication, and reuse of high-value data sets that the government, in collaboration with experts and civil society, has identified as estimated to have the biggest impact on a societal, environmental, political, and economic level. In addition, these measures will be complemented with a new regulatory framework on data sharing at the European Union level, as envisioned through the EU Data Strategy or the Data Governance Act. All these measures will, of course, require the support of and collaboration with the private sector. As far as today's topic is concerned, in order to both contribute to empowering women and facilitate data-driven and transparent decision-making, We should also strive to collect and publish gender disaggregated data in key sectors, and I think this also contributes a lot to the AI processing that we have discussed so far. And the more sustainable future can only be built with evidence-based solutions to ensure gender equity. So I think this will be for me, because I said I tried to cut it shorter. Thank you.
I know we're running a little bit over time, so I'll keep this short. Thank you, Larissa. It's been an honor to listen to all the ladies on the panel today. You know, throughout my career, I often found myself to be one of the few women, or sometimes even worse, the only woman in the meeting room or project. And I'm sure you guys have had similar experiences as well. So it is so refreshing to speak with an entire panel full of not just beautiful women, but also incredible women who are pioneers and leaders in their fields and who have done some amazing things. So thank you for sharing your valuable insights and experiences with everyone today. And last but not least, happy Women's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I just forgot to turn on my mic. I'm sorry for that. So thank you very much. Happy Women's Day also from myself. It was very inspiring to hear from you all, because it's not only that you give back what you learned, but you also pay it forward. So it was really, really nice hearing all your experiences and learning from them. So thank you very much for your panel, for this discussion, and hope to see you all soon.